Welcome to the 5th video about our upcoming expansion, Götterdämmerung. I'm Peter Nicholson, Game Director for Hearts of Iron, and today we'll take a closer look at the Raids feature. Historically, targeted military raids played a key role in strategic warfare, designed to weaken the enemy by attacking specific, often vulnerable targets. These operations varied in scale and purpose, but all shared the element of speed and surprise, intending to inflict maximum damage and disruption. Raids allow you to perform planned strikes targeting important enemy infrastructure, and unlike strategic bombing, will target individual key structures and resources, allowing you to deal long-term pinpoint damage to your enemies. Perhaps one of the most important functions of the raids is that you can use them to target enemy experimental facilities in order to disrupt their special projects. A successful strike can not only damage the facility, slowing research down, but can also damage equipment and set the progress back by weeks or even months. Examples of other raids include targeting dams, a new building introduced in this expansion. Completing the Bouncing Bomb special project will allow you to perform strikes against them, crippling local enemy infrastructure. Dams themselves apply state-level bonuses and are thus used to boost industry, but of course can be a liability if your enemy comes up with a way of destroying them. Dams can't be constructed over the course of a game, with most existing on the map already in 1936, but with certain countries gaining access to more through their focus trees where appropriate. Additionally, if you've developed the Bouncing Bomb, you can do lock strikes. There are two major locks represented in the game, Panama and Kiel. Blowing up one of these will stop all naval traffic through the canals. If your enemy develops the V3 Megagun project, you can use your Earthshaker bombs to target and destroy them. You can also try to strike at your enemy's resources. For example, you can target the Ploiesti oil fields, as was done by the USA in Operation Tidal Wave. A successful strike here will lower the oil output for some time, thus hampering the enemy war machine. A somewhat different type of raid are nuclear strikes. Nuclear raids work very similarly to other raids, with one major exception. Instead of having one or more set targets, the UI will let you select any province when planning a nuclear strike, as long as they can be reached. You can plan cohesive first strikes against neutral countries, but you can't launch until war is declared, and you can't target your allies. We've also added a few custom raids, such as the German Eben-Email raid, the British bombing of Berlin during the early stages of the war, and some of the more odd but rather flavorful raids such as Operation Jericho, where the UK tried to free French resistance fighters by blowing up a prison using Mosquito fighter bombers. Raids cannot usually be launched immediately, instead requiring equipment and planning. If units are required, they must travel to the starting location. Once everything is in place, the unit can start preparing. The amount of time needed will depend on the raid type, and when preparations are complete, you can launch the raid whenever you choose to, as long as the launch criteria are still met. A raid will not automatically be successful. There are a number of factors that come into play when executing a raid. Some depend on the unit itself. The level of experience of the unit, for example, will play a part, and others on specific conditions, such as air superiority, and others again on what the enemy does and how they have set up their defenses. You'll see a general indication of your chances on the raid's display, and when you hover over the display, you'll get a more detailed breakdown in the tooltip. But there's one further lever you can pull. By increasing the risk-taking of the unit, you can increase the chance. But if they don't succeed, they'll run a much higher risk of taking severe losses. And vice versa, you can lower the risk-taking, and thereby minimizing the risk for a disastrous outcome, but also lowering the chance of a critical success. That's all for now. We hope you'll enjoy these new additions. And next time, we'll be visiting Belgium.